Now we talk about that on one side. On the second half of tonight's show, pretty interesting because we segue into, well, cleaning up the ocean. How's about that? From sustainability into cleaning up. My next guest, he's a great story in perseverance and passion. And of course, not only did he come out here to, well, he came out here to surf and to chase the waves, and from Southern California in the early 70s. And from there, he's been here doing all kinds of things, and we're going to hear about his story. He's been on my show before. We welcome him again, and we say a John Nolan aloha to Frank Ruiz of PumaPunku, Hawaii, ocean cleanup, and aloha, Frankie.
Hello, John. Great to be here. Plastic.
Exactly, my friend. What a great segue from talking with Bob Fram and now going into you. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about your story for people out there who don't know about your story and about PumaPunku, Hawaii, and ocean cleanup. And let's talk a little bit about how you got started. You came to Hawaii in the early 70s to chase waves and to surf. And, of course, like all the surfers that came out here from California, both northern and southern, best job for a surfer back then was working in the restaurant business because you could work at night and surf during the day.
Exactly. Yeah, I worked at Trattoria. It was great with Sergio Battistetti. But I'm not important. What's important here is the plastic in the ocean. It's just out of control. We only got a little bit of time, and it is so important. You know, you think North Korea is like the biggest headline these days, but the plastic in the ocean. Just before the show today, I was reviewing YouTube, the Pacific Garbage Patch. There is an estimated 100 million tons of plastic and nets and garbage going around in a circle from Hawaii to in between Hawaii and California, and in between Hawaii and Japan. It's shameless. What the humanity has done. We have to put a stop to putting plastic in the ocean,
right,
and cleaning it.
Your story started with hanging out after, of course, a long time of being down at the dock, Hamilton and Rennie, being a longshoreman, and you retired after 27 years, and you live on the leeward coast, and you were out in the ocean with your jet ski and doing all the things, and then you saw back to how much opala and plastic there was out in the ocean.
Yeah, I would go up and down the coast, and there would be just choked plastic bags from people picnicking on the thing, and the offshore breeze just blows it right in. The turtles, there's lots of turtles out here on the west side, and the turtles think it's jellyfish, and they eat it. And it kills them. And seabirds all around these areas are dying, and they cut them open, and they are filled with lighters and plastic bits. And like what happens is, like, say a lighter or something is floating there, the fish, they attach their eggs to it, and then the seabirds eat it. And it's just we're killing our ocean, and I can't stress how important it is that we get a hold of this problem, clean it, and prevent it.
One of the first things of significance that got you started, my friend, was you introduced a bill with Senator Miley Shimabukuro, and of course that was to allow jet skis to be used in ocean cleanups, and of course along with some other officials like Governor Neil Abercrombie and the help of Ed Underwood at the DLNR and William Isla. Yep, you got signed into law. And it was at that point that those guys suggested that you become a nonprofit, and that's how this whole thing started, right?
That's absolutely right. They suggested it, and it was like God just put it in my lap, and it has grown really well. If you go to our website at pumapunkuhawaii.com, you'll see all the videos. We just made a commercial, a really nice commercial that I'm real proud of. And we're making another one, hopefully with Nainoa Thompson and Nappy Napoleon.
Excellent.
And that should be on hopefully before the end of the year. But you started talking about longshoremen, and this is our plan is that I have right now 10 guys, 10 expert, and I mean expert machine operators, crane operators, and one ship captain.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are pros. All we need is the boat, the machines, the nets, and we can do all the work from forklift to excavator to payloaders. We can drive all of it, and they all want to do it for free. And what we need is somebody like Oprah Winfrey, Larry Ellerson, or Roseanne Barr. That's just three people that I know that are filthy rich and are residents of Hawaii. We need somebody. If anybody out there is listening and you know these people or know somebody who has a ton of money, they could have their own Navy, and we could actually really do some serious work. Because like take Hugh Hefner. He just died, and he left just a ton of money sitting in a bank. And what's it going to do? That money's just sitting there, and somebody else is going to get it, and it'll just sit there. There's so much money just sitting, and we need to put it to work. You know what?
Of course, when I first had you on, and this is when you first started this whole nonprofit, and which really blew my mind, was the fact that the 501c3 was the first time you went down to clean up and do your first cleanup. How much waste and tonnage you guys took away on the first cleanup, and it just got more and more and more. Tell everybody how much you picked up from the cleanups, and that was just at the harbors alone.
Yeah, we did 5 cleanups. We took out 22 tons. 22 tons. It's quite a bit, but we have a lot of tough guys. They're strong, and this is by hand with scoops and poles and nets. But what we excel in is machines. We are all expert machine operators, and with a machine, you can do twice as. Okay, I don't know if I repeat myself, but 100 million tons of trash is in the ocean right now. 100 million tons.
That is mind-boggling, my friend.
And it's killing so much, and it's killing us. It's killing the ocean, and we are committing suicide by letting this continue. Boyan Slat, he's doing a cleanup in 2018, 2 years ahead of schedule. He's got this thing where it's going to trap the trash in a V shape. The current is going to push it up to these booms, and they've got a great plan, and I want to be a part of that.
Talk a little bit. Take it easy, Frank. I know you're passionate about this. Take it easy, my friend. I know. I know you get all excited about this because this, like I said at the top of the show, this is your passion. And people out there listening, I can hear the passion in your voice, and so can they. And of course, if people just did their part, and one of the things they can do is go to your, of course, website if they want to donate to help the cause of cleaning up the ocean, the waterways, cleaning the plastic off the beaches and from our islands. Tell them where to go.
Okay, it's PumaPunkuHawaii.com. All the information is there. You can donate there. But let me tell you, I spoke to Michael McDonald of Hawaii Tug and Barge, Young Brothers, and he gave me a price on a tug on a barge. The barge is $2,000 a day. The fuel for the tug is $6,250 a day. The tug itself is $12,000 a day, and the clamshell crane on the barge is $400 a day. A day. So this is the kind of money we're talking about. And he was giving us kind of a cut rate, not the the top dollar. He knows we're a nonprofit and everything, and he said we could even work something better out than that. But that's a lot of money, and we're looking for a ship with a crane on it, a big ship, so we can go out and do and have several nets and slowly drag them, fill up a hatch. I think we could get maybe 100 tons. I'm trying to get an estimate of how much we could really get a lot.
Sure.
If we had the right equipment and with the backing, like Oprah. Come on, Oprah, where are you? We need. Do you realize she's worth $3 billion?
Yeah, I do.
$3 billion.
Okay, hold that thought, my friend. We've got to go to a break, and I'll tell you, over the years, he's just starting out, Frank, and as he said, he's had donations from Matson, And one of the donations I thought that was really heartfelt was from your 94-year-old mother before she passed away and gave herself $5,000 because she was so passionate about what you were doing. So hang on to that thought.
Yeah,
we're talking
Matson, McCabe, Hamilton, and Rennie,
Yep.
and the Lawrence H. Dorsey Foundation. There are 3 supporters, and they've really helped us.
There you go. We're talking with Frank Ruiz. We're going to take a pause for the cause, and when we come back, more on the John Nolan Show on AM 760, 95.1 FM, The Reason. Welcome back to the John Nolan Show on AM 760, 95.1 FM, The Reason. And we are hanging out, of course, with Frank Ruiz of PumaPunku Ocean Cleanups. And if you want to see and want to know what's going on with him and what he is trying to do here in Hawaii, just go to pumapunkuhawaii.com. You know, Frank, I love movies. My parents loved movies, and that's how my mom got me into just old movies. And there's a scene from The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman, and, of course, it's called The Graduate, so he's graduated from college.
And the guy says plastic.
He's standing right by the pool, and he asks him what he's going to do, and he says to him, I've got one word for you, plastics.
I remember it well.
Yep. And that is what we're talking about. If people knew by throwing that stuff, by getting rid of it, by putting it out, on the beaches, like you said, and getting it into the waters, on what the effect and what it does to our ecosystem, criminal, just criminal.
Just like the last guy you had on just a few minutes ago, he was talking about the waterways, how the plastic comes down through the rivers, gets into through the bays, and goes out to the ocean. It's a sin.
Yep. And we've got to do a better job at sustaining and cleaning, and you guys have been doing it. Give a little shout out because our time is going to be short. We're going to be wrapping it up here. I know you've got your boys down at Hamilton, Rennie, and the boys on the dock, and a couple of them are my buddies and my favorites. Of course, Ed Palafox, who is just a great guy. We all know how great Ed is. He's part of your posse, along with Mike.
He's been a real big help, yeah. Micah Q,
who I covered at UH, former UH football player, and now Steve Adore down there. He's another one who's just a great guy.
Clyde Kanaulu, Jeff Williams, Rocky Tahara, you spoke with him.
Yep.
Roy Swan, there's a whole bunch of them.
Take it easy, Frank. Take it easy. Okay. Yeah.
Darren Chu.
There you go. Chu. Yeah, give them all a shout out because these guys are important. They have definitely been passionate along with you about this cause, and I can't think of anybody. Like I said, you've tossed out the big fish. Pardon the pun. The big whales. Pardon the pun about getting money. Talk to the people out there who you need their help and being as simple as going out to the next cleanup and just going along and helping out in whatever they can do. And even the donation doesn't have to be big. It can be a small donation, but
sure.
help and get involved.
Because, we need money for a lot of stuff, small stuff. But the big stuff is the boats and the nets and the equipment that we need to rent or lease or whatever. And there's also Mark Gonzalez and Jack Luty. He's a ship captain, and he's retiring right after this month is over. He's going to retire, and he's promised. And he's all for it. He wants to be. We have a ship captain and all these machine operators, crane operators. We got everything going for us. We just need the equipment, and we can do a huge amount of work. We could really make a difference. We could get it started to where other people follow suit, and if we could just get this thing thing going the way I want it to, but we need a ton of money. We really do.
Well, it starts with what you're trying to do with your webpage. Talk a little bit about some of these commercials which are on your web, and what is right now the goal of the next thing. Do you have another cleanup coming up? I mean, what's on the agenda of what the next thing you're trying to do?
Well, we did a bunch of cleanups at the Alloy Yacht Harbor, which
Right.
is good, and that's what we could do by hand. And that's not why I started this company. This company is like, as longshoremen, we do large-scale operations like lumber. And
Right.
Scrap metal especially sticks out to me because, the cars come in off the boat, and they end up leaving in a cube. They come in, they rent the rental cars, they use them, and then they cube them, they crush them in a cube, and then they put it into this ship of scrap metal. And they go back in a
Right.
and they sell it for scrap metal. and this stuck out because it's like the trash. We could really do the same thing except for put trash and send that for recycling and to be destroyed properly.
Is there anything that you have, because you started, of course, which was really great, how this whole thing started with a Senate bill about ocean cleanup. Are there other things down at the ledge that you'd like to talk to, who are the bureaucrats and other levels of things that you envision that you'd like to do as well?
Well, we got past that one thing, but the legislature, it's so hard to get anything passed, but we got that passed. And that was a good thing. Other than that, all we need is money. We need a lot of money. I'm sorry to say, but, we do. We need a ton of money, but it's for such a good cause. And we have a tax deductible, so anything you give, you get a bunch of it back through the taxes.
Excellent. And that's a good note for people who know that can happen if they also give as well, being a nonprofit. Anything else, Frank, before we wrap it up?
Well, we're not out to make money. We're out to, and all these guys are passionate about cleaning the ocean. They really are. All these 10 guys that I have, and I'm sure once we get started, once we get making a difference, a bunch more will join in. I'm sure of it.
No, of course, absolutely, and it helps. And I know you're at a bigger level because of course, your background down at the stevedores. But those cleanups that you've been doing, that's what people have been seeing on the news. How many cleanups have you done?
We did 5. We've been on the news 10 times. And Ron Mitsutami, he made a nice full-page article about us.
In Midweek?
Midweek.
Yep. Ron does a
so
great job.
We've gotten a lot of publicity, a lot of terrific backing, but we just need so much more. But it's going good. It's come a long way. If you look at our website, it's really encouraging.
Absolutely.
We've only a couple of years have gone by, and it seems like a long time, but it's not. It's just getting started. And what I hope is for this to keep going and be a long-lasting thing that grows and grows like the YMCA. And I want to have offices on every island. And my dream is to have like an office like the YMCA where you have a volleyball and basketball gym and maybe a swimming pool and classes for substance abuse and languages and learning about the eco stuff.
Well,
and
just keep doing what you're doing, Frank. We've got to run, and thank you so much.
We want to go into the classroom.
Right, right. Well, we got to run. I'm sorry, Frank. We got to run. I got to.
God bless you,
Tom
Nolan. Thank you so much.
Okay, absolutely. Frank Ruiz, everybody, of PumaPunku Ocean Cleanups.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Frank. As soon as we heat up, we got to cool down. And we got to heli on and get on down the road. But before we go, big mahalos all the way around to Matt Hoagland and everyone at Pacific Building Materials, Phil, Mike, Joey, Brenda, to Bob Fram of Garden Island Seafood. Mahalo, Bob. To Frank Ruiz of PumaPunkuHawaii.com. Ocean Cleanups. My assistant producer, Brian Madlick. My producer, Jody Jenkins. Our studio engineer tonight, Leah. Mahalo. Take care. God bless. See you on Wednesday. Have a great week, everybody. See you on the radio Wednesday. Same time, same station. Ahoy ho.
Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.
Thank you for listening to The John Nolan Show, presented by Pacific Building Materials, with your host, John Nolan, on AM 760 KGU and FM